This Center for Research in Igbo History and Culture. Today is Sunday, the 13th of February 2022, and we are here at Amapalata, Nneyi, Umueri, Anambra East Government Area, Anambra State. The occasion is the celebration of the ARO Festival 2022 edition. Today is actually the third day of the 4-day program. So the program is about to begin.
Okay. I am Dr. Ifeanyi Emeka David. Umueri. Umueri. Particularly, this is my brother and a member for the Denmark group. Victor Ayebe by name. We are Nneyi.
Okay, so you are hosts.
Yes.
And we're in your backyard.
Yes.
Aha. So, what kind of seat are you guaranteeing me? Front seat?
VIP seat. VIP seat.
VIP.
So we are coming on behalf of Umueri also. As we have said, Umueri is a social-cultural group. A social-cultural group that there are more of people of like minds in Umueri as a community who believes in the culture, the value, the norms, and the general life of the people. They are part of the community, and they are people who believe in Ọganiru Umueri Ganiru. That is the aim and the purpose for Umueri. Umueri is not a political structure. It is not an opposition or a ruling structure of any type. So that is that about Umueri. Then today we are here for celebration on behalf of ARO. ARO normally is a festival in Umueri, marking the new year. ARO is marking the new year. There are processes which takes place before ARO comes. So it is not something that they just fix a date for. So it is like marking the new year. And it is not peculiar to, although it is not peculiar to Umueri alone, even in the ancient Greek, even in the ancient culture, in the first civilizations, Egypt, even in China, they still mark their New Year's. Even in China, they mark their New Year's in February. So, although we have generally accepted New Year, which is the Western world calendar which we have been using, but this is traditionally in Umueri or in Igbo race, ARO is a prerequisite, is a program, or it is an event that usher in the new year in the Igbo traditional calendar. That is what it is. So we are here as a people and as a group. We are here to the ARO festival have taken place yesterday. The ARO process have taken place yesterday. Today, Bolili ARO entertainment celebrating, thanking God for His message, for the journey so far. That is why people are around here today to celebrate. Not only in the Umueri, all Igbo race are here because ARO is a very important occasion. It is part of our culture. Although a lot of aspects of our culture are going down, a lot of aspects of our culture are not being cherished, or some people taking over and trying to make up what looks like the real culture our people are practicing. So as the origins and the first descendant of Igbo race, ARO has been a culture not just in Umueri, but the whole of Igbo race in general. So that is why we are here today. Thank you.
You are quite an encyclopedia about you've touched every aspect of the program. Thank you very much, Dr. Ifeanyi
I'm a
Emeka.
lecturer in the Department of Education Foundation, something that's Umueri University.
That's nice.
Thank you. I'm a doctor of psychology.
That's nice.
And presently undergoing another PhD program in history. So these things are what people it is more of interest. It is more of valuing our culture. It is more of projecting our heritage, what we have, and who we are. Because if we keeping quiet, keeping silent, as United Nations have made analysis that Igbo language will go into extinction in the next 50 years. So the truth is that our language should not go into extinction. Our culture, which is the people's way of life, even though there should or there can be amendments, but the people's way of life should not go into disintegration or should not go into extinction because of westernization. Thank you very much.
You see, Doctor, one takeaway for me from this talk with you now is that next time I'm going to interview a psychologist, I'm going to wear a crash helmet or over my hat. Because if I knew you were a doctor in psychology, you see all the questions I was going to ask you, you already anticipated them and answered them psychologically. So next time, aluminium helmet.
Okay. Okay.
So that you'll not be able to read my mind.
No, it is my duty to read your mind. If there is something we call in psychology, we have psychological construction. Construction is thinking what somebody is thinking. Even when you are addressing the press, what makes you a psychologist is to be able to construe into the minds of men and come up. Because without construing into the minds of men, somebody will be like somebody will act like an island. Never say Onyagbanam, an issue of Onyagbanam. But when you are talking to somebody and you are thinking what somebody is thinking, I think it helps. It shapes behavior. It shapes attitude a lot.
So I hope you are not a doctor of psychology also. So that you will not end up interviewing me instead of my interviewing you.
I don't think so.
You are not a doctor.
Yes, we are not here.
You cross your heart and you tell me you are not a doctor of psychology. Okay. So what can you tell us about the program today?
My chairman have said everything, just like he said. So today we are celebrating a new year in the IGBO calendar, which every one of us is entitled to. So we are here to thank God for showing us another new year. And for those of them that we are present yesterday and heard the New Year prophecies, they will know that this year is full of things for us to give God thanks. So that is why we are all gathered here this afternoon to say thank you to God and also to celebrate His wonderfulness. So on that occasion, I'm welcoming you to have a wonderful celebration with us.
Front seat. You remember you promised front seat.
A VIP seat.
VIP.
Good entertainment.
Hallelujah.
This ARO issue has been shrouded in some misconceptions and some misunderstandings, which we are trying to dig into, research into, to really get the concept, to really understand it. There are a lot of issues that have been touched. Those issues are very simple. How long has this practice been?
Yes.
When has it started? How many communities? Because there are some communities you will hear in Anambra State, they say Nneyi na ARO, which is somehow it is alien to us. We know very well that Igwe is a colonial creation. It wasn't indigenous to us. In traditional Igbo society, there are no Igwes. In traditional Igbo societies, our people are ruled by clans, elder people, clans. What it means is that our people, we have a system, we are parliamentarians in nation. So for people, some communities to claim that Igwe na ARO, and we know that Igwe is a colonial creation. A lot of communities, only few communities in this in Igbo race, only few communities, as like Onitsha, we are the only history that have predicted colonial era of Igweship. So due to a lot of this, as I said earlier, I said that some people are coming up, taking over trying to hijack it in a wrong direction. We are not conceptualizing Egwaro to be a practice of only Umueri, because when we say Umueri, we are not talking about Umueri as a community. We are talking of Eri as a descendant, Eri as a generation. The Eri we are talking about is the biblical Eri, the descendant of Jacob. And so when we talk about Eri, we are talking of Igbo race. Some people might not understand. That is why I'm taking time to explain what I am saying. So it is not peculiar to only Eri, Umueri as a community. If you monitored yesterday, communities from different places in the Asian region, in Igbo race, they came to take kola nuts. It wasn't only about Umueri as a community. So this thing is about enlightening people. That is the purpose, that is the angle in which Odemma Umueri is coming in. The angle of Odemma Umueri is coming in is to enlighten people, to make people understand that Egwaro should be an event that we'll be taking cognizance of. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Ifeanyi Emeka. We'll take a break now. I'll come back in a moment, and I would like you to touch one or two things. So friends out there, we are here at Amapalata Nneyi in Umueri, Anambra East Local Government area. Is the celebration. Today is actually the third day of the 4-day Egwaro festival, which is ending tomorrow. So here we are again, this Center for Research in Igbo History and Culture. Today is still Sunday, the 13th of February 2022, and we are still here at Amapalata Nneyi Umueri in Anambra East Local Government area, Anambra State. Dr. Ifeanyi Emeka here is the chairman of the organizing committee for the 2022 edition of the Egwaro festival. He has been talking to us about it in the first part of this chat with him. Now, Doctor, I thank God that you have this incisive knowledge. You know, you have a background in history as well as psychology. So you've been incisive about the significance of this program. There is an aspect of it that I want us to look at. During the event yesterday, we were informed that for the chief priest of the ARO to predict what is going to happen next year, that the first day of the festival, he withdraws into the sacred grove, spends the night there, and that night, when he's going, he goes with yam, he goes with cocoyam, with corn and a number of seeds, and that he plants those things. He cultivates the ground and plants those things, and those things germinate and bear fruit. The yam that normally takes 9 months germinates that same night and bears fruit. The maize germinates and bears fruit, and by the copiousness of the harvest that he reaps in these few hours, he's able to predict what the harvest will be like next year, and rainfall and all the rest of it. Now I want to know, as an educated person, as a psychologist, what do you think of that story?
I will come in this direction. Number one is that, as you said, it is a sacred place where not all individuals attend. It is not a free lab. It is not a free place where everybody walk into. So it is stipulated that Ajay moves into the sacred land to communicate. I think it is more of a spiritual activity than a physical activity. And the spiritual activities are not being analyzed and penalized with spiritual activities. The significant aspect of this is that there is a spiritual communication going on. It is not just an act, but there are situations, there are events, which means that there are times in which there is times and conditions in which it occurs, and it doesn't occur in every situation, because normally we have times and seasons as you have said, instead of 9 months, which it takes a yam to grow and germinate, this process of growing and germination, but it happens within a night frame. So I think it is more of a spiritual interpretation. But the primary purpose, or what I have to say, the giveaway from this is that it is not just a fortune telling. It is not just about making up stories or procrastination. There are procrastinations, there are fortune tellings. That is not what it is. It is about a spiritual process. It is an insight. It is a revelation process that usher in hallelujah, which is what it means for it to go is to it is more of a spiritual demonstration. So for me, it is more of demonstration. So it's a process of its own that I might not be able or be in a position to explain what it actually is.
Thank you. Now, Vic.
Yes.
You are, as they say, this is your community. So, like they say, you are a son of the soil. You're a son of soil. Yes. So, what can you tell us about this aspect of the ARO process?
Just like my chairman said, it is actually sacred and it's more of a spiritual thing. Nobody has ever been with the Ajay when he embarks on that journey. So nobody can say for sure whether not, So, but for over times, all the Ajays that we have had has always gone with the same process. So for me, just like you asked me, like someone that is enlightened, I think it's more of a spiritual thing. It may not really be physical germination that one can see with his or her eyes. So it's something that maybe because he's the Ajay, so he has that spiritual eyes or spiritual authority to see if this thing he has planted has actually germinated immediately. So I think that's exactly what happens that night when he goes for.
Okay, so you're saying it might not necessarily be a physical thing. It could be allegorical.
Yes, I'm not in position to say this. Yes, I'm not in position to say this. So only the Ajay can speak for himself because nobody has ever accomplished.
Okay, incidentally, they have offered to take me there tomorrow, not after tomorrow, maybe by Tuesday, Wednesday, to the place where this happens, so that I can see. So we are actually expecting that by Wednesday, maybe we can come back with videos and photographs, of the cultivated land, the harvested yam, and all that. Several times I've been told that they will take me there after the event, and that would be interesting. So for you out there who might be curious about what actually goes on during the ARO process, and how the Ajay, the chief priest of the ARO oracle, enters the forest in the evening on the eve of the ARO ceremony and plants crops the same night and harvest them the same night, and by that means is able to say, because it appears that rain is going to also fall the same night. Because if there's heavy rain, then he will be able to say that there's going to be heavy rain, But if the rain that falls that night in that place is scanty, then it might mean a scanty rainfall. So we will go there and we are going to see things for ourselves.
Of course, all of them is all about appreciating God.
Yes.
It's about appreciating the Creator, the Alpha and the Omega, who is in charge of everything, in charge of the whole universe. God Almighty. That is who I'm referring to and who I'm talking to.
Yes.
It is about appreciating God, who is the maker and the giver. We know it is only God that have the power to bless the seed. It's only God that have the power to bless the year. It's only God that have the power to make rains. to give land, to give dryness, to give each time at this season.
Yeah.
So I will appreciate you and other people. It is more of research. It's a research process.
Yes.
It is more of revelation. People will be happy to get those things. So in all, I will encourage you and I will appreciate you and your team to keep on, because people will want to know, if possible, the generation, because there are what we call archaeological dating. It is called carbonation in sociology. Carbonation, seeing trees, because through age of trees and age of forests, because we are meant to know that this Eguaro festival, it takes place in Nobuga, which I have earlier mentioned. It is a culture being transmitted from our our forefathers to the area. It's a process, and it is being carried out in Nobuga, so referred to as Obuga. And we know that Nneyi, Umueri, it's not just a community. It's not just a community or a village in Umueri. It is a place that has the first point of contact of the ethnic nation, referred to as Umueri. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. This Center for Research Igbo History and Culture, today is still Sunday, the 13th of February, and we are still at Ama Palata, Nneyi, in Umueri, Anambra East Local Area, Anambra State. We're on the third day of the annual IGBO festival, which is a unique cultural feature of this community. And with us here, helping us to understand the program, the festival, and its origins and its essence, I have here the Honorable Secretary of Odimma Umueri, Mr. Victor Ayebe, and with him also is Dr. Ifeanyi Emeka. Dr. Emeka is the chairman of the organizing committee of the IGBO for this year. So, Doc, I would like to look at one aspect. We've talked about the historical aspect of these things. Let's look at the organization of this program. Now, you are chairman of the organizing committee from the side of Odimma. Why do we have two sides to the organizing?
The multiplicity of sides of organization makes it interesting. The multiplicity, the number of groups, the implication is that more people are getting interested. That is what it is. More people are providing interest. That is what it is. No matter the direction in which it is coming from, we expect that by next year, more groups will come up to participate. More communities will come up to participate. So that is the fun of it. It makes it interesting, and we are happy over that. We expect more people to join, more groups to come in and participate. So it is a good of. It's something to appreciate. Every group, I've seen Omobala group pass. There are about 2 different other groups I've seen in their with description in their cloths, and it is good. It is okay. It's a welcome development. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So now I know, is this first time Odimma Umueri is getting involved in the organizing of the IGBO?
Not at all. Odimma Umueri has been getting involved.
Can you tell us the nature and the extent of the involvement?
The extent of involvement is not really on the traditional aspect of it. The extent of involvement is on the socio-cultural aspect of it. When we say socio-cultural aspect, it is the socialization involved and the cultural practices, the culture. When we talk about culture, we are talking of people's way of life. I've explained it earlier before now. So the aspect of Odimma is coming in is diversifying interest, diversifying process in which it is being carried out before. It is like opening the gates, making it wider, making people making it open, that people will see that more people will come to understand. It is more, Odema is participating more on popularization, popularity, making creative awareness. Odema have been contributing a lot. Like you have seen a lot of, there are some TV stations around carrying it. There are social medias of different sites. They are here. There are magazines, newspapers. They are also that in the traditional media. So Odema is participating actively on this aspect. And we know that last year there was an interview which Petro Dochie, veteran film actor, participated. Those things are all concept of Odema Umueri. Their primary purpose is publicizing. So that is one major aspect they are doing it. Publicizing this event, making it go viral, making the events open to the larger community.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Vic, I know you were involved last year.
Yes.
I know. I was here. I saw you. You were heavily involved in the organizing and in the program last year. In what respects is the program this year different than the one of last year?
No, there is no difference. The same way we participated last year is the same way we are participating.
No, I'm not talking about your participation. I'm talking about what people expect to see.
Well,
and
obviously, this year is going to be better much than what we saw last year. Yeah, so areas where we had shortcomings last year, we have been perfected. So we are going to see those perfections done in this year's celebration.
Is it in terms of the number of participants or the number of people who come to see the program, or in terms of the program content?
The program content has remained the same. We don't have, just like you said, we don't have any input concerning the traditional
aspects of it.
So our own input is just to make it reach to the wider community, to reach out to the world, in fact. So this time around, we've engaged more media than we did last year. So we're able to reach out with bloggers, with traditional, with the internet, with the cable TVs, and a whole lot.
Okay.
So we actually went far this time around to reach out to the world. Unlike last year that we just centered on traditional media, of which are the newspaper and the local television we have. But this time around, it's going to go wider.
Thank you. Please just permit me just one question more. Now, I know you to be a businessman, even though you have, but all of us, we are businessmen now. Whatever we do,